Good morning. It is 11:55 a.m. Today we're gonna have kind of a special episode. I know my associate here likes to talk, so I'm gonna give him a chance to talk about the stuff that I want to talk about. So we're doing government versus subcultures today. So for those of you who don't know, I have been a member of the Juggalo subculture for about 10 years now. And in 2011, the FBI did a national gang threat assessment, and they labeled Juggalos as a loosely organized hybrid gang.
That's wild.
So they've been labeled as a gang by not only the FBI, but the National Gang Intelligence Center and the states of California, Arizona, Pennsylvania, and Utah have labeled them a gang. So,
well, the only one that I would understand calling them a gang is Utah.
Well, yeah, Utah, because they're like Mormons, and Mormons are kind of strange.
I'm sure they live in Utah though, so I gotta visit. But
oh yeah, and like this has led to like civil rights being violated. As a matter of fact, the ACLU actually helped Psychopathic Records like sue the FBI for this. They lost the lawsuit, but it's kind of made clear that
I feel like anytime you go at the government, you're gonna lose.
Oh yeah, for sure.
That's the problem.
Yeah, and so that's the only time they have ever been labeled as a gang. But people have like lost custody of their kids. They've lost jobs. They've been kicked out of the army. And
for being a juggalo?
Yeah, for being a juggalo. Like, for example, if I get arrested by the police and I'm wearing like my ICP shit, they'll put me in gang.
Oh yeah, Jesus Christ.
And the Worcester police are nice. So like. And here's the thing. The Worcester police are like comparatively like compared to like cities like Baltimore, the police in Worcester are relatively fine. Yeah. Like I've never had a problem
with Boston. Holy shit.
Yeah, I'm sure it's much worse than Boston, but basically, so I met juggalos. I met like thousands of juggalos over the years, and I met one that was ever in a gang. And it wasn't even a juggalo-related gang. Like, no juggalos are okay with the label. The juggalos that are okay with the label are the ones that are in gangs. Now, I'm not saying that, they don't exist. They do. There's like, they're popping up on like Indian reservations. They're popping up in like white trash, Southern California communities. But like, they're not the majority. As a matter of fact, the National Gang Intelligence Center, and I did like 2 papers on this, one in middle school, one in college. The National Gang Intelligence Center, the guys who recognize juggalos as a gang, say that only 10 to 15% of juggalos are gang affiliated in any way. 10 to 15%.
So 1 out of 10. Basically.
1 out of 10, and that's and like there are at least 1 million juggalos in the United States, and not even 20% of them are gang affiliated. Come on.
No.
Did you know any juggalos back in Iowa?
Not like they wouldn't go out of their way, but like I definitely juggalo subculture in Iowa is probably it's not too bad. They're just not out of their way wearing like ICP merch, but yeah, I definitely knew some juggalos, I would say. But thing with that, it's just I don't know. Like it's a big subculture in the Midwest, but like they're just not out like. Well, where I was, they just weren't like as rampant, I guess. So.
Okay, because juggalos are like never rampant. They're like usually in like small, pockets. Because like it's not they're juggalos. Worcester is like the juggalo mecca of the Northeast.
Yeah,
but you don't see like guys rolling around in like hatchet gear or whatever. You don't really see that anymore. Like
I bet you saw it more when they were like bigger back in like the late 90s, early 2000s.
Oh yeah,
but like now that it's like they're just a little older.
Yeah, most of them are like 36.
Yeah, I was gonna say. Yeah,
and yeah, I feel like that's what sort of started the decline of juggalos because not only did was it hard for them to book shows? It was harder for them to book The Gathering. It was harder for, them to sell, their merch. And like they're like geniuses with like the merchandise.
Oh, they're marketing and merchandise. Like if Drake's wearing their shit, like he definitely
definitely made it.
Nah, I think that's what the one thing about like ICP that I like is their their marketing and merchandising.
Yeah,
They definitely always were making fucking money off their merch.
yeah, and
That's because I love the jerseys more than anything.
Oh yeah,
jerseys are fucking amazing.
I have one of the Fearless for Fury jersey. I wear it all the time. And so basically so not only did this sort of kind of start a decline of juggalos, I noticed, but it also started like a feud between the juggalo camps. So like ICP, they had another band on their roster called Twisted, and Twisted are basically focused more on the lyricism.
Okay.
Twisted and almost all of the guys from like classic Psychopathic, like 2005 Psychopathic, actually like left in by like 2017, left Psychopathic Records to start their own label, Magic Ninjas.
Oh, there.
So and Twisted, they said in an interview that ICP is like overplaying the gang assessment, and they're making it about themselves, like taking advantage of the gang assessment. So, I mean, they said that they declined to perform at the Juggalo March because they thought it was fake.
At a Juggalo March was fake.
Yeah, they thought they were doing it to exploit the Juggalo gang label, and they think it's overblown. I don't know if I haven't really looked into their reasoning for it, but they say it's but they say like their reasoning is like if you have 40 pounds of heroin in your house, of course your kids are gonna get your kids taken away from you.
Yeah.
Like, so you're a criminal justice guy. Do you think that whenever if federal agencies, and I trust your judgment on this, whenever federal agencies put like a random thing on their roster and not speak of it again, is that like a money thing, or
can you get like a little more specific, just to be like honest? So give an example.
So you know how police, the reason why police get false confessions out of people is because the more arrests they get, the more funding they get, right?
Yeah. It's tough. I think they incentivize sometimes the wrong shit, I think. That's why you see say you have a slow May, but then in June they're gonna give you extra 1,500 in your check if you reach 30 traffic stops.
Yeah.
And you only did 2 in May. They might do that shit. So I don't know. I think if it's just everything we were talking right down in our messenger group with Mo. Everything's just a business. So I think that's where I think we just have to do shit for the right reasons. And I think that's where it comes down to it. Everything's just everything gets treated like fucking merchant, and it's too much. It's really it sucks.
Yeah, in our friend group, we researched the deep state a lot, and I'm reading this book right now by this journalist, Gerald Posner. I've heard some not so good things about Gerald Posner as a journalist, but this book, from what I understand, is fine. Basically, he did his own investigation as to why America failed to stop 9/11, and he gave this history about the FBI and the CIA feuding with each other.
That's the problem. That's why, at the end of the day, whatever's going on now, it's just he just got too powerful. You give anything the CIA, the FBI, all this shit, it's just too powerful. Even the Department of Education, we need to put more money into education for the children, not for the government agents to make fucking money. I think that's where I just don't trust people, man. That's where it comes down to. I love America for the people. I don't like it for the government. So at the end of the day, that's where we have to just come to realize that, regardless if you're left, I don't give a fuck.
Left, right, up,
left,
down,
right,
it doesn't matter.
Down, black, white, I don't care. It's just more of we have to do for they just don't work for their constituents anymore. They just make their fucking money, and they could fuck off.
Yeah.
like at the end of the day, that's where it comes down to. So I just want to know where my tax money's going, and at the end of the day, if they're over fucking paying people, fuck them. So
Yeah, and yeah, we're big deep state guys. I don't know if I said that before, but I'm gonna say it again because I didn't say it. I didn't get a lot of sleep last night, so I'm gonna be forgetful. But it's like, why would you feud with each other? Like, if you're incentivized to feud, they're incentivized to feud with each other because, like, you know, they want the glory of that investigation. When like when during the Olympics, when the Palestinian guys were taking hostages, the CIA and the FBI were fucking each other over because they wanted to be the guys to get the hostages, not because they want. It's not about getting the hostages. It's about being the guys that got the hostages.
yeah, it's about the glory. It's not about the actual job. And I think that's where, like, I did like my research on the FBI, like when J. Edgar Hoover was in it. Like, dude, he was a secret. Like, he was a closeted gay. So he had a lot of beef with a lot of people, but he had a lot of fucking what's the word when you just have a lot of shit on people, like dirt on people. A lot of fucking dirt on people. And I was like, that's why he got away with so much shit. That's why he, you know,
because they're spying on people.
The one, yeah, they was, you know, with the, you know, the one thing that got me fucked up is they were gonna look into Emmett Till, but J. Edgar Hoover said no. And that's where I'm like, oh fuck, like that could have just been a whole nother thing that would have fucking just been, oh, so the FBI is actually going to look into like a case of a 13-year-old getting fucking killed fucking maliciously just because at the end of the day, like he just might have whistled at a fucking white woman.
It's still not clear what happened that day.
Oh no, she fucking lied. She said on her deathbed that she lied.
Yeah.
So like that's the type of shit that I'd rather fight for. The fact that like motherfuckers can't even dude, it's so annoying. Like I'd rather fight for that than like be told like, oh, like you gotta do this and do that. Like no, fuck off.
Yeah, and there are a lot of like civil rights assassinations that were just not investigated.
Yeah, because it doesn't bring into their knowledge of like, oh, let's do the right thing. Let's tell the American people like, hey, like, because they just want all the fucking glory for themselves. They don't really give a fuck.
You ever seen that movie Mississippi Burning?
No.
All right, well, it was about these. Basically, in Mississippi, there were these 3 civil rights workers, 2 Jewish and 1 white.
Oh shit.
They got murdered by the sheriff's department, and the sheriff's department were in league with the Ku Klux Klan.
Oh fuck.
And this was a big thing back then.
So damn. What year was that?
That was like 1963 and 1964.
Jesus Christ.
And basically, I don't know about a lot about the actual investigation itself, but in the movie, they were all like against the FBI because they thought them big, Yankees were coming down to tell them what to do and how to think and feel, when all they were just trying to do was save.
Yeah.
Was you don't just protect people, and it was FBI guys who were investigating the investigation, and the FBI. Who do you think are the bigger racists? Dipshit sheriffs like down south, or federal investigators who have more power than any state can have?
I don't know. That's a trick question, I feel. Because I feel like that's where, like, if you think the system in itself, if the system's racist, then you would say the government officials. But then at the end of the day, like, the people would probably say the sheriffs.
Yeah,
like the people that actually deal with the racism would say the sheriffs. So, but it's just how you think. So technically, I would say, but.
Because, in the movie, Gene Hackman is one of the FBI guys. Is it? Oh, yeah, Gene Hackman's fucking G in the movie. And he used to be a sheriff in Mississippi.
Gene Hackman.
He used to be a sheriff in Mississippi, and, like...
Then he's the one that just passed, and they found his body with his wife, right? Gene Hackman?
Yeah, Gene Hackman just passed away. Rest in peace.
Rest in peace. 97. Fuck.
Yeah, and he's in the movie, and you can tell that he just wants to kill all those sheriffs guys, because he used to work with guys like that.
Yeah.
He grew up around guys like that. Yeah, and I'm pretty sure, like, like, okay, but that's just like one case in the civil rights movement. Like, yes, the FBI did investigate those 3 kids that got killed. Yes, they had to come down to Mississippi, Alabama to stop, white kids from rioting because they didn't want to live around Negroes. Nowadays, white kids riot because it's trendy.
Yeah.
But nowadays, back in the day, like during my grandparents, like they rioted because they didn't want to be around,
people,
the black squares,
Yeah, he said the black squares. Jesus Christ. Fuck. Oh man. Yeah, no, it's think with the FBI, all the government agencies, I think they definitely got to be looked into more.
Yeah.
Because it's just at the end of the day, it's just you're doing it for. I'm not saying this because I don't. Like, if I met an FBI agent, I'd want. They're doing their job at the end of the day, but I think that's where it comes down to. You're just doing it for. I don't know. It's just too much bullshit.
Yeah.
Too much crazy shit. Like, and I feel like the wrongdoing of the past people just make it worse. There's so many. There's probably a lot of great fucking agents that do their job and do it for the right reasons, and they don't care about the money. They don't care about the glory. They do their job, but then at the end of the day, like just the past fucking fuck ups.
It's the brass that really cares about their glory. I think because something I noticed, like Ice Cube, when Fuck the Police came out.
Yeah.
He said that the top heads of the officials of like the LA Police Department and the FBI were releasing statements condemning the songs. Mm-hmm. But when he would go on the street and talk to actual cops, they liked the song. Yeah. You know why they like the song? Ew. Nobody hates cops more than cops.
Yeah, true.
Because they're dealing with the cops that they're talking about, and they probably hate the cops more than anybody.
Yeah, because at the end of the day, like
because they reflect poorly on them,
Yeah. At the end of the day, like you're anything that is a government job, you're constituent to your people. You need to fucking be around your constituents, and at the end of the day, treat your constituents or treat the people that you are around how you would want to be treated. And I think that's a big issue that we are still facing. You know what I mean? Like, there's so many fucking, like, even in like small town, like that's why like I would hate to be like the fucking, like how I feel. Like if I was in a small town in Iowa, so I would hate to be the kid that used to be like an asshole in college, like an asshole in high school, and then the sheriff is like the kid I bullied.
Yeah.
Because at the end of the day, there's so many stories like that the fucking kid was just the sheriff in a small town or was just a fucking bully kid. Now he has all the power in the fucking place.
Yeah,
and
man.
Now, like, guys are just living their life and doing shit. And then now it's like, oh, you can't do this, can't do that because I'm above you now. And it's like, no, like, and I think that's where I feel a lot of the cops who are kind of like just ignorant or the cops that are just fucking just always on people's asses. It's those guys. Yeah, it's the guys that were fucking bullied and never fucking told like you ain't gonna be shit. Now you get a fucking powerful job because you actually are willing. You know what I mean? You actually have the willingness to fucking lock people up and do all this crazy shit. But now, that's why people gotta know their rights. That's all.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. That's something I noticed. People don't know their rights because, like, I'm hearing stories of juggalos. They say that cops were taking pictures of them.
Yeah.
It's like, you have the right to tell them, don't take pictures of me,
Tell them to fuck off.
Yeah, it's really sad that that's not common knowledge. And you know why it's not common knowledge? They don't want it to be common knowledge.
They don't. Because at the end of the day, like, they don't want anybody knowing their rights. They don't want they just want fucking obedience. Obedient workers, obedient this, obedient that. That's all it comes down to.
You know what the most dangerous weapon to any government is? A library card.
Oh wow.
Yeah, that's something I know. That's something I noticed because I read a lot, and I'm kind of the cynic of the family because I kind of like tell it how it is. Like, oh, why was this person smiling when on 9/11? Oh, it's probably because she had stock in Lockheed Martin. Stuff like that. That's just the way I look at things,
You gotta be just be truthful. I think that's where we're just. There's a lot of people that think like us, think the way you know what I mean. But yeah, just
just not afraid to tell it how it is.
You gotta tell it like it is. Like, in at the end of the day, you gotta be willing to offend to fucking be right. So,
Yep.
or be willing to offend to fucking be, it's not even about being right. It's just more of just doing the right thing, you know?
Yes, sir. All right, so this is an article about the Juggalos from the Washington Times. It's more than 6 years old, but it did come out when
The Washington Times?
Washington Times. And
the paper?
yes.
Okay.
So
I
it
was
says
like, what the fuck are you talking about? During Washington Time, there was no Juggalo.
yeah, and
I'm like, fucking what?
and the Washington Times is a pretty reliable news source. I read it sometimes for like class, and so it says the FBI documents detail gang investigation into Juggalos, fans of Insane Clown Posse group. I love how they say Insane Clown Posse group, like just like there's more than
Those motherfuckers.
yeah. All right, this is by Andrew Blake, 2018. Again, it's kind of an older article, but it was released when the Juggalo March was going on. I was in high school when the Juggalo March was going on, so I was just really proud of myself.
March happened?
2017,
No, but like, where did it happen?
Washington.
In DC?
Yeah, it was like right across the street from MAGA rally, and not a sliver, slick, or swivel of violence happened at that march.
Okay.
And all right, so the FBI on Wednesday, because we're down with the clown. The clown makes you not violent. But all right, the FBI on Wednesday released a trove of records compiled by investigators prior to placing Juggalos, diehard fans of the Insane Clown Posse rap group, on its 2011 National Gang Threat Assessment. All right, so they investigated it. Let's see what they have to say. Consisting of over 100 pages worth of emails, memos, and news reports. The records predate publication of the FBI report that described Juggalos as a loosely organized cyber gang, a label contested by ICP's members and the subject of a lengthy federal court investigation. Quote, the Juggalos are a violent street gang whose membership follow a small niche of the rap scene known as horrorcore, end quote. Read an FBI memo included in the dump. Quote, the genre is mainly associated with Detroit artist Insane Clown Posse, but has spawned a host of imitators who recite crowds with musical horror stories in which murder, rape, and suicide are recurrent themes.
Jesus Christ.
Dated March 15th, 2011, the memo was issued by the FBI's Salt Lake City office in tandem with the opening of a federal criminal enterprise investigation into Juggalos, according to the document. Quote, this enterprise investigation seeks to examine the structure, scope, and relationships pertaining to the captioned violent street gang, to identify members and the organizational structures of the gang, to identify relationships between the members of the gang, to identify all illegal activities which may constitute a pattern of racketeering activity conducted by individual gang members and groups of gang members and which may support prosecutions for federal violations, end quote. All right, so so it said Juggalos are a violent street gang. So here's the thing, that is true. This ICP were a gang originally. They were a gang called Inner City Posse in Detroit. So they were a gang at first, then they became a rap group. The reason why they became a rap group is because Joseph Bruce, aka my boy Violent J, wanted to get out of gang life because like he was making enemies and they were like attacking his mom's house, so he had to go down to Bonnie Doon, North Carolina to live with his brother. He was in the army at the time, and that changed him. You know why? He saw how many like racist ass motherfuckers were like down south at the time. Yeah. And like, sure, it's gotten like so I'm from the South. It's gotten better.
Are you from the South?
Okay, well, actually, no. I'm not from the South. My parents are from the South.
What? What the fuck?
And it's gotten like much better since like the days of like the FBI help whacking people, the bumfuck sheriff departments, killing people. But it still exists in like some areas, and I'm not gonna lie. And that changed him because Violent J grew up poor. He never blamed, black people for his problems. And when he come back, he was like firmly anti-racist when he got back to Detroit. And that changed his life. To say that there is truth to like street gangs being juggalos or Yeah, or like there are juggalo street gangs out there, but to say that A, that the majority, and B, like there's been no change involved is such bullshit. You know, and it says that the genre is mainly associated with Detroit artists and St. Clown Posse, but has spawned a host of imitators who excite crowds with musical horror stories which murder, rape, and suicide are recurrent themes.
Yeah.
Jack the Ripper was probably a Mozart fan. Are Mozart fans violent already? Are violent too? Does that make Mozart a bad influence on society? Mm-hmm. And so it says that it was issued by the FBI Salt Lake City office. That kind of makes sense because Utah does label them a gang too.
Oh, wow.
And seeks to examine the structures, scope, and relationships pertaining to the captioned violent street gang. What relationships? Like juggalos come from all over the world, and according to the guys you're working with, 85 to 90% of them are not gang affiliated.
Yeah.
So what I don't know what the relationships they're talking about, and identifying members in the organizational structures of the gang. It even said that it was loosely organized. If there's no organization, if there's no organizational structure, then there's no gang, the way I see it. Like the Crips has an organizational structure.
Right.
Your Brotherhood has an organizational structure. The Bloods have an organizational structure. The Cartel has an organizational structure. The Mafia has an organizational structure.
Right.
You know, the FBI has an organizational structure, and they're probably the biggest gangs out of all of them.
Right.
And identify all illegal activities which may constitute a pattern of racketeering, any activity conducted by individual gang members and groups of gang members, and which may support prosecution for federal violations. ICP has sold upwards of 20 million records worldwide. Do you think it's impossible that some of them are involved in illegal activity? Like, of course they're gonna be like people are doing like acid at the gathering.
There's gonna be some fucking not malicious, but like they're open to a lot of shit. So
yeah, there's stupid people in every group.
Yeah.
Of course they're gonna be. Why you gotta box it in to make them all gang members?
That's crazy.
And the FBI listed juggalos in its annual National Gang Threat Assessment published 8 months later, effectively placing ICP's fans alongside members of the Bloods, Crips, and the MS-13.
That's fucking crazy.
The American Civil Liberties Union sued the FBI in 2014 on behalf of the four self-described juggalos and ICP's two members, Joseph Bruce and Joseph Otzler, but their efforts to have the gang label rescinded were ultimately rejected by a federal appeals court in December. Yeah, because if you go after the government, you're definitely going to lose unless you have like hard evidence against them.
Yeah, like Diddy evidence or some shit.
And so, say you're a dipshit who joined the MS-13. You join it because you have no choice. You join it because that's the case in some neighborhoods.
Man. And I like what El Salvador is doing right now with their fucking like like the way they're doing that is fucking amazing. Yeah, because they fucking turned that country around like that. Because that's what you have to do sometimes.
Yeah, and they had to do that. And so MS-13, they're not as bad as a problem up here as they make it seem to be. They can constitute like less than 1% of all gang members in the U.S. But from what I understand, say that MS-13 sees the gang label as that. They're gonna assume that the guy with the Hatchet Man shirt is a gang member, so therefore he is someone he is beefing with. So therefore, if a gang member has a problem with you, you're in trouble.
Hey, fuck.
So you're putting innocent people at risk for wearing a Hatchet Man shirt by boxing them in with other criminals.
Yeah.
All right, quote, the FBI received more than 3 FOIA requests for Insane Clown Posse material, and the documents were posted to the FBI vault pursuant to FOIA public inspection requirements, end quote. An FBI spokesman told the Washington Times, quote, specifically the FOIA Improvement Act of 2016 requires agencies to make available for public inspection in an electronic format records that have been requested 3 or more times, known as the Rule of 3. Accordingly, the FBI posts such records to the FBI vault, end quote. That was all gibberish to me. Do you understand that?
What?
Like the FOIA requests. Like, did you learn about that?
I probably did, but it's been a while. So.
Yeah, all right. Yeah, it's probably FBI files, like probably like wiretapping psychopathic records and shit.
Fuck that.
Immediate contact for ICP did not immediately return messages seeking comment. ICP previously said that the game label, quote, resulted in hundreds, if not thousands, of people subjected to various forms of discrimination and harassment and profiling simply for identifying as a juggalo, end quote. Other documents included among the 121 pages published on the FBI's website Wednesday include arrest reports and news articles from across the country detailing criminal cases against suspected juggalos. One of the earliest documents, dated June 24th, 2008, that would have been my dad's 43rd birthday, showed the FBI was interested in that summer's Gathering of the Juggalo, an annual festival organized by ICP every year since 2000. This proves my point. So they were wiretapping him. They were wiretapping him, okay. Yeah. So I know the JFK files just got released, guys. I didn't get a chance to read them because I'm lazy, but I do have a book, in my house that, that documents the whole thing. But I am well versed in the MLK assassination, and the FBI, they were wiretapping MLK's house since like at least 1963, guys. They even sent a letter saying like, "Hey, we know about your adultery.
I was gonna say,
if you don't,
you probably heard a lot of fucking."
Yeah, I know. Probably that's like probably. Imagine being that agent, and being like, "Oh my god, do I have to fucking hear this?"
Yeah. He's like, I had a dream,
but like,
they're fucking everything that walks.
They're telling him to kill himself, and if he doesn't back down, shit'll happen. And when William Pepper did his investigation of the MLK assassination, he figured out about like who Raul was. He found out what Earl Clark was doing. He found out that Earl Clark was the guy who actually did the shooting and not James Earl Ray. And when he tried to get in touch with Raul, the FBI was trying to block his efforts. And like they were like tapping Raul's house and everything, and fuck. Yeah, so we couldn't get to them. And like, why would the FBI like not want this random Portuguese guy in Providence, Rhode Island, to not talk to, a lawyer? Yeah.
It's fucking nuts, dude.
Yeah.
Oh, and that's the thing with the FBI. It's not like the shows. It's not like, dude, I think like they got to do their job at the end of the day, but sometimes it's just like I've been saying, I think like they just got so much fucking power that it's like any government agency that has that much money, they can do whatever the fuck they want. So I think that's where it's like, holy shit.
Yeah, and they will use any excuse to do whatever they want. I just skimmed this while you were talking. They said, quote, "The fans of the group have been linked and are known to commit violent acts not only during concert but at other times," end quote. What? What? You're telling me that people get stabbed at fucking ICP shows, dude?
Yeah, nah. Yeah.
Yeah, let's label metalheads as gang members. I've seen 2 fights at metal shows.
Yeah.
Let's label punks as gang members. Like before suicidal tendencies was a thing, people used to like get beat up at like punk shows for having long hair.
Yeah.
People used to get beat up at metal shows for having short hair. There was like a rivalry between metal and punk before, suicidal tendencies kind of fused the two. But were they labeling them as a gang back then? No. And same thing with the skinheads too. Yeah. Like not all of them are racist. Even the ADL, who labeled Pepe the Frog as like a hate symbol, I cannot get over this. Imagine in American History X when Derek is saying, "You see this? It means not welcome." And instead of a swastika, it was Pepe the Frog. Like, that is retarded. So, like, And emos, for example, you're telling me that emos are at, like, you might as well consider emos a mental illness then, because, like, half of them are suicidal.
That's some
And, like,
ass emo women though. So.
And very hot emo. Yeah. But, like, so I was talking to my friend. He was, like, an OG juggalo from 2001.
Oh, shit.
And, like, he said that the having a Faygo bottle was like a souvenir to bring home. I have a Faygo bottle from my first ICP show.
Oh, nice.
And they said that they used to fight each other for it.
That's fucking crazy.
But, like, okay, back in 2001. So where were you guys when they were, like, when they were fighting each other for Faygo bottles? Now that they're mainstream enough, now that all the 6 of the Joker cards have been released, you want to persecute them. Why?
Yeah, because they need something to do.
Yeah, they need something to do, exactly, instead of, like, catching the guys who were planning 9/11. All right, previous communications have documented the Juggalos as a legitimate gang with a large following. How? The fan base is known to number in the thousands, and they follow the ICP in almost religious manner. Juggalos are in a type of gang war in California with the MS-13 gang.
And the fucking letting Juggalos and MS-13 are going after each other.
What?
Fucking bullshit. Because, dude, MS-13 people would fucking kill all the Juggalos.
Yeah, exactly. They don't give a shit.
Dude, if it's LA, you got fucking Chicanos, you got all the shit.
Everyone wants to kill each other. It's LA.
It's LA.
Yeah.
Fucking cheers to that, brother.
And are holding their own against them, end quote. An unidentified source, how convenient. An unidentified source told law enforcement, according to the 2008 memo, quote, Juggalos are known to be present in all 50 states and numerous foreign countries, end quote.
Wow, God forbid.
Yeah, so how do you know, if they're all in all 50 states, how do you know that they're a gang member, you prick?
Dude, I don't know. Like, bro, when you told me what we're going to be talking about this, like, I'm very interested now, because if they're really, dude, it's like, just let a subculture be a subculture now.
Yeah, I know. Let a subculture, let people be people and actually catch the threats that are actually threats.
And why make
stop feuding with the CIA. You guys should be working together. Who cares who gets it?
See, but that's the thing, like, what's your take? What's going on with, like, Doge and all this shit, like the government spending? Do you like it, or you just like the?
I don't know much about it.
Okay, so, like, what's going on basically is they're just watching what the government's spending, and they're just showing you where all the money's going.
Oh,
it's fucking crazy, because I think it's just fucking nuts. The billions and billions that we sent to Ukraine and fucking all these other places, and, like, dude, it's fucking crazy. Like, dude, we could fix homelessness with the amount of fucking shit that fix homelessness. We could do, like, I understand a lot of a lot of the shit that we stem from. I know a lot of people don't want universal health care, but they do. We definitely need some level of that shit,
because they think it's communist.
It's not even that they think it's communist. It's just that everything's a fucking business. So I think that's the problem. Like, if you privatize, like, look at all these insurance companies, man. Why the fuck do we have to pay all this type of insurance? Yeah, like, dude, it's fucking ridiculous. Because at the end of the day,
it's all about money.
It is. No, like, dude, we're a big business fucking place. Then, like, that's all America really is. Make your money. Like, dude, like, that's why I love when immigrants come here and they make fucking less than, like, dude, like, they can make $300 a week, be happy as fuck. Yeah. Because they're sending half of that shit, and then they realize, like, oh, fuck.
They're sending it back to their family.
Right. So,
like, I think my mom did that. I know a lot of my cousins do that.
End of the day, gratitude is just a fucking lost cause in here sometimes. And I think that's where people that still come here, and that's why I love, like, mostly about America. Because at the end of the day, like, people come here, they fucking do less with more.
Yes, sir.
And I think the Americans need to get their fucking head out of their ass and realize that, be grateful that you're here, but at the end of the day, like, there's a lot of shit that's going down, but we had the freedom of speech to fucking talk about it. So
yeah, and
we're not gonna be fucking locked up for fucking doing stupid shit. Well, I mean, talking about shit.
Every neighborhood has that guy who's like an immigrant, who's a beacon of the community. We have a guy, I'm gonna give a shout out to this guy. His name is George. He's a Greek immigrant who owns Poison Market. I grew up going to a store.
Yeah.
And guess how much a bag of popcorn is at a store?
50 cents.
Yeah, 50 cents.
That's fucking awesome.
Yeah, and it's awesome. So these guys are the real pillars. All what makes America great, you know. All right. I'm gonna wrap up this segment now because we've gone like 10 minutes over schedule with the segment.
Yeah.
So when we come back, we're gonna talk about the West Memphis 3.
Oh shit.
Okay. We have returned. So next thing I kind of want to talk about is the West Memphis 3. Now this case is kind of passé because all those guys are like free now. The case itself, I don't think they've solved it, but you know, it's better to have, you know, the way I see it, it's better to have a guilty man walking free than an innocent man being hanged. So basically the West Memphis 3 in West Memphis, Arkansas, these 3 kids were murdered. So, and the police arrested these 3 teenagers, Jason Baldwin, Jesse Miskelly, and Damian Eccles. And they were immediately charged as suspects. And West Memphis, Arkansas, I don't know how it is now, but back in the 90s, it was like this hick town, you know, real religious, very evangelical based. Like you go down south, you drive on the highway, all you see are churches, like church, tractor store, church. Waffle House church.
And like, this is where I get drunk, but then I go to church to pray after.
Like, and basically, so, and they were basically found guilty despite, you know, there being no evidence against them. The families, for the longest time, the families of the 3 kids that were killed believed to hell and back that those 3 kids were guilty. There was even proof that they weren't even at the thing. So what I think really set the deal for them is when Jason Baldwin was in custody, he met this other kid who was a pathological liar, according to the case handler, and the kid took the stand and said, Jason Baldwin confessed to murders to me. So I think what got him is that they didn't have his case handler testifying at the court to say that this kid was a pathological liar. So I think that's really what got him there. Because like I remember when I was like going in alternative school, I had a case handler who was vouching for me
to go back to AMSUB.
Yeah, to go back to AMSUB, saying like, hey, this kid is not a threat to anybody.
A little retarded, but
yeah, he's extremely, he's just retarded. He's not a real threat to anybody. But yeah, I feel like that's the case for most kids. But like, I mean, it wasn't about the 3 guys who were accused. It was about the kids at the end of the day. I remember Jesse Miskelly, he was being interviewed. He's like, it's not about,
how old were these guys,
kids.
Though?
Like 17, 18, and 19.
Okay.
And like, they separated Damian Eccles from his son. His girlfriend had a baby.
Ah, shit.
Yeah, and after the discovery of like new DNA evidence, all 3 of them were released in 2011. Thank the Lord. And so basically, there was this people saw this, like, a lot of witnesses. They saw, like, at the time of the murders, they saw this black man who was covered in blood, looking disoriented at a Waffle House.
Oh shit!
That's the most southern thing ever, by the way.
Jeez.
That sounds like something you see out of like a Memphis song, dude.
The Memphis song.
And
I gotta go to Memphis.
And there was even like black hair found at the scene of the crime.
You mean black, like actual black hair?
Actual black hair, yeah.
Okay.
And
just nappy fucking hair.
Nappy fucking hair, yeah.
Okay. It's a joke, guys. Fuck.
It's a joke. We're just joking around. We have a lot of black friends. They were.
Well, I do too, but shit.
Yeah, and like Jesse McSkelly, they had a coerced confession. He was coerced in the confession, and Jesse McSkelly, he was intellectually disabled. So of course, and the police,
They can get them. Yeah.
they deliberately target, people like that.
Yeah.
Because they know that they can, manipulate them.
Yeah, of
fuck
course.
with them. Yeah. And that's what happened to me because I'm developmentally disabled, and they were doing it to like a 18-year-old kid in high school. Imagine what they do to a 13-year-old kid in middle school. But not to make it about myself, but
Well, shit, I've been through all that shit, so I definitely feel ya. So that's the thing. Like being in confession's fucking crazy though. It's why
and like the prosecution argued that the teens had killed the boys as part of a satanic ritual. They're not satanic. They've been in 2 fights their entire lives. Like Jason Miskelly and Jason Baldwin were good. Damian Eccles and Jason Baldwin were good friends. They weren't good friends with Jesse Miskelly, but they were, they fucked with each other, here and there.
That's good.
But like back in the 80s and 90s, there was this mass media scare called the Satanic Panic, dude. Several people were wrongly accused of child abuse during the Satanic Panic era have been exonerated, thank the Lord.
That's good.
I don't understand, like,
what don't you understand?
back in the day, they considered Dungeons and Dragons satanic.
Really?
Yeah.
I thought it was just gay, but you could just be fucking alright. Shit.
I thought it was gay too, but
No, it's like they said oh, what the fuck, man.
yeah, but whatever. I'm a juggalo, dude. Do what you guys want. Whatever.
Yeah, like, do whatever you want.
Gay. I think furries is gay. Do what you want.
Yeah.
I think K-pop is gay.
K-pop's the shit though. You mean fucking hot Asian women doing that shit. They're liking that shit. So
Yeah, but I grew up with K-pop and
I don't really that.
like we would go to New Year's Eve events at WPI and they would be singing K-pop. I remember thinking it was the most ridiculous thing ever.
Have you ever seen that video of the white girl singing I want to be ninja?
No, I don't.
Alright, load it up, man. That shit's fucking hilarious.
All right.
Dude, it's
We get off topic a lot, guys. Just so
we do it. That shit's hilarious.
I want to be ninja.
I bring my nunchucks. What it is?
I want to jump.
Let me tell you about the way of the ninja, guys.
Jesus.
See, ninjas do not coerce young people coerce kids into making false confessions. And to that day, one of the sheriffs in West Memphis, Arkansas, to at least 2011, he was maintaining, like, hey, we didn't do nothing wrong. I was like, yes, you did. Coerced into a confession. Like, it was even brought up in the trial. Like we don't know what was going on in that interrogation room. And here's a source called the innocenceproject.org, who are the West Memphis Three. Basically, Mr. Miskelly, who had an intellectual disability, gave a confession after hours of coercive and intimidating interrogations, which were not taped. No evidence. During these interrogations, Mr. Miskelly, still a child, was not accompanied by his parents or an attorney. Yeah, they didn't have his parents there, didn't have an attorney there. Both young people and people with intellectual disabilities are especially vulnerable to falsely confessing when subjected to police deception and intimidating. Oh, I'm in there. And Mr. Miskelly's confession was filled with details that did not match the crime scene evidence. Yet the prosecution used it to charge Mr. Baldwin, Mr. Miskelly, and Mr. Eccles with the crime. Mr. Miskelly later recanted and he refused to testify against Mr. Baldwin and Mr. Eccles at trial, and this confession was barred from the trials. Something I noticed, like, they give, like, a plea deal because they don't want to, but if you take, like, a plea deal, you don't go to trial.
You don't go to trial.
Yeah.
But that's why 98% go to plea deals.
Yeah, 98%. It's like trials don't happen, plea bargains happen.
Yeah.
That's the thing. Like, there was no DNA.
That's why a lot of people that are in jail really that don't do what, like, they didn't really do it. They took the plea deal because at the end of the day, if they went to trial, they just weren't going to fucking get over. So, and I think a lot of court appointed lawyers end up wanting to take a plea deal rather than fucking go out of their way because that's how
Yeah,
the
because they don't
country
get
is.
paid enough for that.
They don't. If you have your own private lawyer, fucking go to trial all day, dude. But it's a lot of fucking money.
Yeah.
And it shouldn't be like, dude, like that's where like with the court system it kind of fucking sucks because it's like you have to like pay so thousands upon thousands of dollars just to prove you're innocent. And that's where it's like, holy shit.
Yeah, and that's why like you have people going to jail for
Simple misdemeanors.
civil misdemeanors like weed. Like
Yeah.
there are people doing 25 to life for weed.
Yeah, dude, if they took out, yeah, man, it's fucking, that's the problem with America. Just in the sense of like, they're not, so like, they're making it so socially acceptable now, but then like, they're leaving all the people in jail. It's like, fuck off. Like,
Yeah.
I don't like that shit at all.
And with the media coverage for the West Memphis 3, it did get a lot of people to support, the 3 kids.
Mm-hmm.
But it did kind of make suspicion where there wasn't, because like the father of one of the kids that got killed, his name was Mark Byers. He's very weird,
Yeah.
and people suspected him of being the real killers because he had a criminal history.
Oh, shit.
The families of the West Memphis 3, they even suspected him of doing it, of being involved in the murders. Damien Eccles suspected him of being involved in the murders. He maintained he was investigated, and he even took like a lie detector test, and it proves that like he wasn't really doing anything. Like he was going to like the side of like the murders and burning and pouring gasoline on it and burning
shit.
it to symbolize, the 3 kids burning in hell or whatever.
Oh, my God.
And, he was doing weird shit like that.
Yeah, that's...
And whenever he was talking, he kind of sounded like he was acting. He was like, basically after a couple years after the murders happened, his wife, the mother of the kids, passed away.
Ah, fuck.
And he said, I'm trying to be thankful for everything God has given me. I now live in a 1-bedroom condo since my wife passed away, and there are things I need to be thankful for. It only takes me 5 minutes to vacuum. It's quiet here, and no one really bothers me. Now that is the things I need to be thankful for. And he was like wearing like an American flag, like not like a shirt with the American flag on it, like a shirt designed with the American flag.
Oh, shit.
And he'd be visiting the grave of like his wife, being like, honey, I miss you so much. Words cannot describe how much I miss you. He's like putting his hand on his heart.
Oh, yeah.
I pray for the day that we be reunited again.
And you can burn in hell. Those who think I did it can burn in hell.
Why does he sound like Forrest Gump?
He's from Arkansas.
Jesus Christ.
And
Bill Clinton from Arkansas. He doesn't sound like that.
oh yeah, but this guy is like a good old boy redneck from Arkansas.
Jesus.
And it turns out, and he had like a criminal history. He helped like these teenagers like beat up this one guy. And it's like, and eventually they found out there was no evidence that caused him to do it. And he's not like a psycho. He's just weird. Basically, him and the guys from the West Memphis 3 actually reconciled their differences.
That's cool.
For that, they said, I'm sorry, it was hard for me to admit I was wrong. I looked at the evidence, and it turns out you didn't do it. It was a little weird that they weren't like looking at the I thought the evidence at the trial was pretty convincing that they didn't do it, but to each his own. But now the father of one of the other kids, the last time the kids, I can't remember his name, but the last time one of the kids was seen was when they got into the car of one of the other father's kids.
Oh.
Moore, I believe his name is. Hold on, let me look up his name. His 3 fathers, parents. Yeah. Yeah, like, okay, I can't, trying to look up his name. He was in the HBO documentary, too, but I believe Todd. I am so sorry if I get his name wrong, guys. But Todd Moore, I believe, was the name of the father. Hold on, let me see. Let's see. Yeah, feel free to edit this out, editor, because this is not gonna sound a little bit under Terry Hobbs. Terry Hobbs was his name. Terry Hobbs was his name. Sorry, Mr. Moore. Terry Hobbs was the name of one of the fathers. Oh, sorry, the father of one of the guys that got killed. Mm-hmm. And he has a history of violence with the wife. Oh shit! He has a history of violence with the son. Okay, well, I'm sorry. He wasn't his son. He was his stepson.
Oh, no. He's like, I'll beat him.
Yeah, and in the documentary, he's like talking about how he like, yeah, I beat my wife, so what? Shit like that, like this real redneck asshole.
Jesus
Fuck. And he everything that he acted so suspicious. He was making jokes about the situation, even though he was like literally being interrogated.
That's fucking wild.
Yeah, man. If I showed you the videos, you'd say, yeah, he fucking did it.
Like about it rather than, you know what I mean?
Yeah, or at least was involved. It's like OJ being interviewed for, after the, after the trials, man.
My mind won't work and my mind don't jerk.
I slapped Garth Brooks out of his rhinestone shirt.
Rhinestone shirt. Hell yeah.
And
he did it.
And dude, do you think it's one of those things where they just want someone to, pick on, it's like an easy target for law enforcement?
It could be. I think something like this, like murder, is definitely, it's tough. You're always gonna, with murder and how you look at it, you're gonna be emotional about it because someone's life was taken. So at the end of the day, regardless if you didn't do it or this, you already have preconceived notions. I think murder is a very hard trial to have because at the end of the day, I think there's just so many preconceived notions within the jury, within the judge, and especially if he's a repeat offender. But if he's a repeat if the guy fucking killed 5 people, why the fuck isn't he in jail already? Yeah, or locked up? I think that's why a lot of people are pissed off at the justice system because at the end of the day, guys who could fucking commit 5 to 10 murders are walking fucking free, but then the guy that just fucking sold an ounce of weed is fucking locked up. And I think that's where we need to fucking have a real true discussion about all this shit. You know what I mean? Dude, if it's proven without a shadow of a doubt, I think all mass murderers should be fucking killed. I believe in the death penalty for certain instances.
Some motherfuckers, you just gotta get off the planet, period.
Yeah. And I think at the end of the day, it should be quick and swift. I don't think there's a lot of taxpayer money that goes into keeping people in the death penalty. Or just waiting until they have all their shit because they put them in jail and then they wait. Then it's nah, I think if we could figure out a way of doing it within a year, without a shot of a doubt they did it. Mm-hmm. And they fucking raped 9 people and they fucking killed 5 of them and they fucking did all this crazy shit. There's a lot of serial fucking rapists and killers that are walking free that get a lot of leeway because of all this bullshit. And I think that's why those types of cats need to fucking be taken off the planet. But then at the end of the day, our government's fucking supporting all this crazy shit too. So it's that's where it comes down to it. You're never gonna take away evil or evil doings because at the end of the day, people are going to reach a level of evil to an extent. I think that's why all these people that want to be oh, let's just be in utopia. It's it's never going to happen.
Utopia is dystopia.
Yeah. Because at the end of the day, you're going to find something to fucking diss people on, Let's all wear red shoes. Oh no, I want to wear blue. Fuck you. No, no, there's always going to be something. So it's just how humans work, but it's gonna be interesting. So, whatever happened with the 3 guys? Are they they're all still alive? And
yeah,
they're all young? Are they? They gotta be. This dude, how long ago was this? 10 years ago?
Yeah, this was 30 years ago. Damon Eccles is still alive.
I hope so. Fuck, they were young as shit.
Yeah, I know. The life's taken away. And let's see, suspects. Yeah.
No, they didn't go. They
Jesse
they didn't end up going to jail. They didn't get.
No. They were in jail, but they were
jail.
innocent. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, there's a lot of shit like that, man.
Let's see. Jesse Miskelly in 2017 he was arrested during a traffic stop, but he wasn't expected to be returned to prison. Jason Baldwin. Yeah, it looks like. No, I think they're all still alive. If they weren't, they probably would have said something.
Yeah.
But yeah, like all those guys were like young, and I mean when they got sent away, and get
That's how you build career criminals by locking up.
career criminals, sending the wrong guys away.
It's not even sending the wrong guys. It's just that you send these 18 to 22-year-old kids, and they're still kids mentally. Because at the end of the day, like they just were doing dumb shit.
Yeah,
And they just didn't have the person to fucking tell them to stop doing dumb shit. Then they go to jail. They become better criminals. And I think that's where the repeat offenders in this country are just better criminals, because at the end of the day, they learn. So you could learn different ways of just becoming a different,
Yeah, man, and
I think that's the biggest issue, because like we don't lock up I think, like I said, like we lock up people for weed. We just do dumb shit. We don't lock up the fucking like how do you feel about the guy that killed the United CEO? Like he's probably gonna get the death penalty, but like everybody's so happy that he fucking killed a billionaire, and it's like holy shit.
yeah, dude, that CEO was a bigger murderer than Luigi Mangione could ever be.
Like big picture wise, he
picture,
killed.
yeah.
No, big picture wise, like I think.
Am I saying he shouldn't go to jail? No,
No, of course not.
Like, of course you should go to jail if you kill somebody.
And it's fucking point blank on video that he fucking pulled the trigger. So it's like, I think we need a level of morality to get back to where it's like a wrongdoing is still a wrongdoing.
Mm-hmm.
Doesn't matter if it's for the right reasons. A wrongdoing is still a wrongdoing. So
yeah.
if you murder somebody, like an eye for an eye, like how we were talking about, like Sharia law, like
Sharia law, yeah.
Like at the end of the day, like
We'll get to Sharia law in a minute, guys.
we're going to be in a time, like honestly, I think like we've always been a Christian country, but we never technically had a Christian. We never technically were, but we always were to me. Like it just. So I think that's where we have to just reach a level of like just sustainability in the sense of like truly putting away the wrong people. Because all these kids that go in fucking at 18, 19, 20, and then they just, by 40, they just fucking been in jail fucking half their life. And it's like, it's sad, man. Or not even half their life, more than fucking half their life.
More than half their life, yeah.
Like, dude, like, that's why I look at guys like Jelly Roll. I look at guys like Reformed. Like, there's some states that will never fucking change. Like, I know Tennessee, where he lives, like, a felon can't own shit. But I think it's a real issue. Like, they can't buy any property. They can't buy, like, everything, I think there's some states, like, if you're in a more, like, Massachusetts is a little better. Like, if you a reformed prisoner, or if you could get jobs, you could do all this stuff. And I think prison reform starts with that. Like, just being able to fucking reform somebody. Because prison shouldn't be just locking, like, you shouldn't just be locking up everybody. I think we have to reach levels of rehabilitation rather than, you can't put the guy in the traffic stop with the fucking child rapist. Like, dude, like, you just, you know what I mean? Like, there's levels to shit,
When there was a guy locked up for weed, and he was in the same cell with the Parkland shooter.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
Yeah, dude, that's...
It's like you're putting, like, murderous psychos with drug dealers, man.
Yeah. And then they're going to learn from each other, and then what happens?
A very good friend of mine is a drug dealer.
Dumbass. Fucking snitch bitch.
Yeah, I'm not snitching. I'm not saying any names. He just sells weed, but I'm not gonna say any names unless any feds want to get the numbers up.
You snitch.
I didn't say his name. No, I didn't snitch.
No, you didn't. But
Yeah.
Jesus.
Yeah, I'm not a snitch. I'm not DJ Vlad. You know?
No.
You know who DJ Vlad is?
Yeah, of course.
Oh fuck, DJ Vlad. Such a douchebag. He's like,
But
so you killed 30 people in 1998. So you sold drugs to Lil Kim.
Mm-hmm.
Tell me, what was it like being involved in Tupac and Biggie's murder? You know, stuff like that.
Yeah.
And he's got the camera facing towards him on the couch. It's not even proper like
I know.
interview format. It's like the casting couch, dude.
Basically.
It's like-
He's fucking Dozer, I guess, so he's fine.
Yeah, and it's like, yeah, and it's, yeah, there are even allegations that he is a cop, you know?
I don't know. I think there's feds that work in the industry and then they just fuck with people. So
Yeah.
I think that's the worst thing you can do though, because at the end of the day, like if you're gonna live a lifestyle of crime and you're a fed, you're fucked.
Oh, yeah.
Once they find out and you don't put them away, you're fucking dead, dude. Like I'm sorry, you're just like that. You're fucked, man. Like I could imagine the horror stories of all the feds that used to work for the mafia, dude.
Yeah, man.
It's fucking insane. Or even like infiltrating like all this other shit.
Do you think Eminem, those cops would work for him?
Probably not. He just has security, but he better have fucking like good level of security.
I feel like half those guys have cops who work for them, at least.
I don't say cops. I would just say like high level security.
Yeah.
So they probably ex-military or they just know shit. So
I remember back in quarantine, this guy named Matthew Mitchell broke into his house.
yeah.
Matthew Mitchell, bitch, I even have your initials.
Oh Jesus.
I just think it's so funny. Like, first of all, that's not the first time he's dealt with a crazy fan.
Yeah.
But
he has a whole ass song about it. So it's
like one time in 2007, this kid, he was working at the bingo hall, and Kim used to go to that bingo hall a lot. So and he got Kim's like BlackBerry, and he started texting Eminem saying like, "Hey, I'm a big fan. Listen to my music, man, please." And Eminem got like a restraining order.
Yeah, I think that's a big issue too that we're facing. Restraining, like, dude, there's just so many weird fucking people now.
Oh yeah.
Like, I mean, weird, like, just fucking, like, the stalker situation in this country is fucking wild, too.
Yeah, not weird like metalhead or juggalo weird. I'm talking weird like,
Creeps, dude, like.
weird like, Terry Hobbs weird. Yeah, and
Fucking Jeffrey Dahmer weird, you know?
yeah, and the thing with small towns, or with like West Memphis, Arkansas, you think the police don't know guys like that are in their department? Like, everyone grew up around each other. Like, you even said it yourself in, like, small town, like, Bumfuck, Iowa. Like, like, the judges know each other. Yeah. And so what happens if, like, the judge, like, the defendant used to play football with the judge's son, and the judge is like, you know, I don't want to ruin your career, boy. I know you're a good kid, so you just made a mistake, but don't let it happen again. When, like, when he, like, raped 3 girls, you know?
Brock Turner.
Fucking Brock Turner shit, man.
Yeah, that shit was crazy.
Oh, man, I remember that. I was in high school when they did that.
Yeah, that shit's wild.
And I remember you saying, like, with, fuck, okay, when, there's, like, you know, heavy emotions involved. In the trial for the, West Memphis 3, the judge was like, listen, I know there are going to be problems. I know this is a very heavy case, but I need people to please keep their emotions under control. If the verdict is unfair, or if you think it's unfair, you will have plenty of time to overturn it. There will be a chance to overturn it. So I understand there's a lot of emotion involved, but please keep your shit under control. And like the judge was like, years later, he's saying, "Hey, I was just doing my duty," you know. And it's like, okay, I'm not saying it's the judge's fault, but the judge was just doing his job based on the situation.
You know, like that's where the judges in this country they end up they have to do their job, but you can tell when they're bot. So
yeah, you can tell when they're like bad people.
Not bad people, just bot.
Yeah, bot.
You know.
And you know, it's the deep south in the 90s. Of course, the judge was fucking bot, but yeah, like back in Iowa, did you know any like judges that had like that sort of like small town mentality?
I wouldn't say, but
Yeah.
you know, there's a decent like. I think like Iowa's a weird fucking state, man. Because like it was the second state to legalize gay marriage in 2008.
Yeah.
But then they have like one of the strictest abortion bills in the country. So it's like, and then I know they repealed like a couple things because I keep up with it because I have so many like Facebook friends, so they share a lot of shit. Like they're repealing like free lunch. Like I think all the kids, it's fucking crazy, dude. Like I don't understand.
Yeah, I heard about that repealing free lunch. Those guys can go to hell.
Yeah, like dude, it's fucking nuts. Like I don't understand. Like, and that's what I mean. Like they don't give a fuck because at the end of the day, like everything's a business, even school.
Yeah, there are days where I didn't have a lunch and the lunch lady would help me out.
Yeah. No, but that's what I mean. Like at the end of the day, like how the fuck are you gonna tell me? Like that's why like when certain people talk about like we had a situation when, well, I told you the story about the woman who didn't like her mom because she made more money than her. And at the end of the day, like, and then the fucking lunch lady, especially in what's the public schools, dude, fuck, man. All the kids that just go fucking hungry. And then you're telling me, like, you're worried about that? Fuck off.
There were kids that grew up with that couldn't afford to barely afford shoes, let alone lunches, and like you're gonna say that you kind of hold people in contempt for doing something honorable because they make less than you or more than you because of the money they make.
That's
and like,
the problem with honorable people are still honorable, and I think that's where
I feel like when people tell you who they are, believe them because if they just care about money or status instead of helping other people, then they're not good people, man. That's what's wrong with this country, dude. Because like people in other countries, they vote to benefit society.
Right.
People here vote to benefit themselves.
Right. And at the end of the day, that's a huge, regardless of regardless if it's left or right too, because I could fucking call out bullshit on both sides.
Yeah, exactly. And people are
so when people vote on the left, they're not doing it. They look like they're doing it for other people, but then it's just a virtue signal and fucking do all this other bullshit to make them feel better as a person. But you're not doing shit. You voting left or you voting for fucking all this shit, it's just virtue signaling.
Yeah.
And I think that's where, you make all these promises, you do this, you do that, and then it's all bullshit.
And so many people fall for it.
Right.
They drink the Kool-Aid when the party tells you to cover your eyes and ears to the truth, they will do it. I know.
I'm not saying conservatives are better, they're fucking just as worse, but at the end of the day, like
I'm not naming names, but I have people in my life that could find a boot to lick in a sandal store. And it's so frustrating because I know that they're too smart to buy into that crap. I feel like they're buying into it because it makes them comfortable.
Yeah.
And that's what happened with the West Memphis 3. Instead of like looking at the evidence saying, wait a second, the kids could not have been there at the scene of the crime. And these kids don't have a history of violence or anything. They were just saying, oh, look at those freaks. Of course they did it. Yeah. Because they're freaks. Yeah. They listen to Metallica. they have Slayer shirts. Yeah. They dress in black. I know half the guys in Arkansas are black, but black makes me uncomfortable. So therefore, these guys are guilty. Yeah, I'm wilding out now today. Yeah, I just got to be like my genuine snarky self, and this could be more entertaining. Like last episode we recorded, we were talking about different types of white people. Yeah, and that was very fun because I was just being like cynical. Yeah, being a cynical douchebag, and I feel like cynical douchebagness is the most hilarious. And it's like, how come these guys these 3 kids were suspected, but not the guy who was like laughing about beating his wife?
Yeah.
It's all about numbers with these guys, man.
So what ended up happening? So we could.
I don't know what happened to Terry Hobbs, but eventually in 2011, the 3 guys were exonerated.
That's good.
The official murder remains unsolved to this day.
Okay.
But at least those
a lot of unsolved murders, man.
Yeah, man.
It's not because the people that are doing their job can't do their job. It's just that there's so many breakthrough things that It kills me, man. Because, dude, my grandmother just watches a shit ton of ID, and I'm just like, fuck, this shit's insane. The amount of unsolved murders in this country is fucking rampant, man.
Yeah, man.
And it sucks because it's like
Because you probably know who did it, but you can't prove it.
they can't prove it, or like you gotta look within sometimes. You know, like, fuck, man, this is crazy. Like, I could imagine like the movie Gone Girl, like with like that type of situation. That would fucking kill me. Because like you're grieving your wife, but then they like expect you to do that you did it. You're like, what the fuck? Like,
Yeah.
this shit's crazy.
Yeah, and I remember when I was a kid, there was I went to Portland, Oregon, and I saw this this poster of this kid. His name was Kyron Horman, and he was 8 years old. He disappeared, and the last time anyone seen him was like when he was in school that day, and there was like an investigation, and turns out the last time he was seen was when his stepmother was taking him to the car, and his stepmother has like a history of like mental health problems, and she was even caught. It turns out when they investigated, she was trying to hire somebody to kill Kyron Horman.
Oh fuck!
Yeah,
Wait, to kill the kid?
yeah, to kill the kid.
What the fuck? Jesus Christ!
And yeah, it's like, okay, can you guys investigate, please, instead of like locking up.
And legalize all your shrooms you want, I guess.
Legalize all the shrooms you want. Just investigate the murderers, dude.
Yeah.
Because my uncle, my grandma was in Portland. My grandparents live in Portland.
It's a cesspool now.
Yeah, it's a cesspool now, and it's like, how come you got all this money for this crap, but you can't put away a murderer?
Yeah, I think that's the thing. You know, like, it's what you value. That, you know. Yeah, no, it all comes down to that. But at the end of the day, like, if you want to do all the psychedelics you want, you can do all this, you can do that, but it's gonna it's gonna return to some level. It's like, what the fuck?
Yeah. All right, guys, we're gonna take a break, and when we come back, we're gonna talk about punks versus Muslims.
Jesus Christ.
All right, we're back. Now we are gonna talk. So. My family's from Southeast Asia, and I grew up in the punk movement. So this story kind of resonates with me. So punks in Indonesia are literally being persecuted.
No, what year was this?
Let's
So
see,
like now?
like at least 5 years ago, pretty recent.
Okay.
And so basically, in Indonesia is Muslim.
I was gonna say it.
So
huge.
Yeah, these Muslim society, and they have Sharia law. Sharia law, according to our friend who was Muslim, is religious law, and not all Muslims believe in Sharia law, but some have their own forms of it, and Indonesia and all these like Middle Eastern countries have Sharia law where people get beheaded for having a porno mag.
Yeah.
And basically, what do you think would be like the most obscene thing to Sharia law?
Punk movement.
The punk movement, exactly, where it's like, you can't tell me what to do, because like, fuck you, I won't do what you tell me. Fuck you, I won't do what you tell me. I feel like that's kind of missing in the punk movement nowadays, because these guys are the original fuck you. These guys are the truest fuck you, I won't do what you tell me, because when the punk movement was first starting out, it was in Britain, where you're not gonna get beheaded for like dissing the Queen in Great Britain, at least not back then. Now it is, probably, because with the situation.
Yeah, they got a lot of knives, because all the stabbings, because they have no guns. So
yeah, and but in Indonesia, like, they'll send you to a re-education camp, for wearing like a Sex Pistol shirt. Yeah. And
there's like the 6th biggest population on the planet, I think.
Yeah, we got like 300 million people, like 100 million people in Indonesia, dude.
Yeah, it's fucking because it's like just a huge island, right?
It's a huge bunch of islands.
I got the fucking Komodo dragon over there.
Oh yeah,
that fucking shit scares the shit out of me.
Komodo dragons are badass.
They are badass, but fuck, like, dude, they could chew because they have no teeth, or do they have teeth?
They bite you.
and then it's acidic.
Yeah, it's acidic. It gets infected. Yeah.
Fuck that. That's like that type of shit. Like I can get down with a snake, but Komodo dragons, fuck that.
Yeah, just don't go near one. You'll be fine.
Yeah, fuck it.
And my aunt is from Indonesia.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
That's
Upi. She was in
Whoopty?
Upi. She was.
I was like
Shrewsbury. She was like best friends with my mom growing up.
oh, just
Shout out to Upi. Love you, Upi.
I was like whoopty.
And yeah, like they're getting like, so these punks, like they're kind of they're in the same situation like punks over here are in, where they lose their families in like a typhoon, or they can't live at home. Some of them choose to live at
Typhoons over there?
Yeah, in Indonesia. Yeah.
Oh,
Because it's islands and
no, I know. I'm fucking with you. It's like
yeah, and some kids choose to live there because they think it's fun. I don't blame them, but it does look fun. But a lot of them were kicked out of the house,
right.
and stuff like. And they've even been assaulted for like dressing like punks by like, not by like police, but by like civilians too, because they appear like alien to them.
Right.
And Indonesia has more Muslims than anywhere else in the world, so it's expected that some people are gonna think like this. But these ninjas, they are risking their life to be punks, man. It is just, it's more punk than the original punks.
Damn.
Yeah. Yeah, we gotta take after these guys. Like, if I ever go to Southeast Asia, I gotta stop by
Nah, we going to fucking Cambodia, Laos, or Sudan. There you go.
Yeah, okay, you gotta
Be in Nam. I'll go to Nam, dude.
And then-
I know they killed fucking half my family, but fuck.
Oh yeah, they killed half my family too. This is like, it's like a big problem, not just in Southeast Asia, like Asia in general. Like, if you don't think like them, you get put into a re-education camp and they brainwash you.
Well, at least with Japan, China, and like South Korea, they're very innovative with their technology. At least.
Yeah.
So,
And it wasn't even like back then in South Korea too. Like back in the day, there was like, in like the 60s and 70s, there were these like anti-communist like massacres because they were trying to root out communists, and like 15,000 people were killed.
shit.
People were put in like re-education camps, and like South Korea for the longest time was just as mean as like North Korea, but just not as communist.
just not as communist, man.
Yeah, and,
motherfuckers.
And like China nowadays are putting like if you're not like proper Chinese, like Han Chinese, there's China proper, and then there's outer China.
Yeah.
Outer China is like Mongolia, Manchuria, Xinjiang province, Tibet, and those are the guys.
Nepal too? Or no?
Yeah, like Nepal. I don't know if Nepal is its own country, but
Yeah, so is Mongolia, but
it's Mongolia. Okay, well, outer Mongolia. Excuse me. Like,
I was like, what?
yeah, and
So they had the whole fucking Great Wall of China.
yeah, it's cool. Great Wall of China. Excuse me. I'm Asian. I should know this stuff. My fault.
You could.
Yeah, they put them in like basically, if they really
I'll still fucking go.
Yeah.
Like, dude, it's a very innovative, creative, beautiful architecture, and they fucking kill everything. If they were building bridges here, all our bridges would be fucking amazing.
Oh yeah.
And it already built the fucking railroad, so.
And you would think the government of Indonesia would be more tolerant, because like Muslims have faced like their fair share of persecution in that region too. Like, not just Muslims, but Christians. Like during the Boxer Rebellion, like Christians were getting killed because they were adopting like foreign influence. Like Islamic, like Muslims are getting like sent to concentration camps right now, and like the Xinjiang province, because like it's towards Central Asia, and Central Asia is Muslim. Like the Rohingya Muslims are getting killed in Myanmar, and not just Muslims too, but and Christians too, but Buddhists too. Like Nudin Yem, how you say his name is Noah, because I know this because my mom's maiden name was Noah. NGO. Nudin Yem was like this anti-communist guy, and he was Catholic, so he was like
Interesting.
he was the first president of South Vietnam, and he was sending Buddhist monks re-education camps.
Oh,
My
to
grandpa
change.
was like a Buddhist monk at one point, and he was in the South Vietnam Navy, so he's betraying his own people basically.
Oh, wow.
And the South Vietnamese army would go shoot up Buddhist temples.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Oh, shit.
Yeah, and they were just
And Buddhists are fucking cool down there as fucking people, too.
yeah,
Like,
they're cool down there people, and there was like, and they were like just as bad, if not worse, than the Viet Cong, because like at least the Viet Cong were just like scrappy dudes in the jungle. These guys were professional military, and like the monk that set himself on fire.
Who?
The monk that set himself on fire.
We talked about it for a little
Yeah,
bit.
he was doing that to protest the South Vietnamese government's persecution of Buddhists, and when the United States, the South Vietnamese government was a proxy of the United States government, and when
That happened,
when that happened, the United States begged him to stop killing Buddhist monks, but Ngo Dinh Diem refused. And I don't know if it was because they were ordered to assassinate him, or they did their own volition.
Order to.
But
Like if
probably.
if the United States wants you dead, they're gonna fucking find a way to do it. So
the United States
already Western civilization, they're gonna
if any
find you.
government wants you dead,
They're gonna be like
dead.
they're gonna be Liam Neeson and Taken. They're gonna be like, I will find you, I will kill you.
Yeah, his general was assassinated, and that's what really that's when I feel like that's when they decided to go into Vietnam, because 1964 is when LBJ decided, hey, we need to beef up our military involvement in Vietnam, and they never officially declared war.
I know.
Did you know that?
Yeah, that was never declared war, but
so
we definitely lost.
Yeah, so therefore,
There's a lot of fucking people for their non-declared war, man. That's why all the shit that's happening now with all these fucking conspiracy theories, all this, the JFK files, MLK files, Malcolm X, all these files that are out, I'm great. I'm happy that it's finally out.
Yeah.
But at the end of the day, it's just disproving the fact that we could trust our government. So
yeah, and the reason why they wanted to go into Laos, Southeast Asia, is because there was this drug trade in Laos, Thailand, Burma.
oh yeah,
And so what they did was and Burma's its own
didn't
story.
they have a movie with Tom Cruise about this, the drug trade and all that shit?
Tropic Thunder.
No. No, I'm trying to remember that movie.
I remember Tom Cruise was in this movie called Born on the 4th of July with it's an Oliver Stone joint. It was like Oliver Stone's Vietnam trilogy, but the reason, but they just wanted to do the drug trade in Laos, and the most bombed country in the world is not Gaza. It's not Ukraine, it's not Germany, it's not Japan, not Iraq, not Afghanistan, not Yugoslavia, not Libya, not Yemen. It's Laos. And all they did was bomb Laos because that's where the Ho Chi Minh Trail was. And that caused and Laos are just dudes in the jungle. It's half the country is uninhabitable. It's mostly mountains. That's where the Hmong people live. If anyone's seen their trail.
My bad. That was my fault. Nah, it was Central America. My bad.
Central America?
Yeah. All right. It was a fucked up. He was recruited by the CSA to provide renaissance on the burgeoning communist threat in Central America. And then Medallion. Yeah. So.
Yeah, and
American Day, that's the name of the movie. But
I had a point. Where was I? We're talking about Tom Cruise, but sorry. Laos in the mountains, and that's what caused people to join the Khmer Rouge. That's what caused people to join the Pathet Lao. All these
groups.
A lot of these U.S.-backed anti-communist groups were really unreliable back in the day. I'm reading this thing about Laos, and they're saying that people would abandon their posts to go to a party. Yeah, this Laotian army, and they were just not reliable at all. And that's because they weren't trying to be reliable. They were trying to make money off of the situation. And I'm not saying it was just anti-communist people too, but it was communists as well. So in the central highlands of Vietnam, there are these indigenous people. They're the Montagnards. They're the Hmong people. If this is in Gran Torino, they were the Cham people who are all
Is that the one with Eastwood?
Eastwood, yeah.
Yeah.
Great. There's also the Cham people who are Islamic, who are Muslims. There are 800,000 of them in in Vietnam, and the Viet Cong were persecuting them. So what they did was they founded this group called the Army of the Liberation of Oppressed People, something like that. It was called Furlough, Furlo, and they were fighting against the Viet Cong, and they would have like spotty, at best, kind of relations with South Vietnam and the U.S., but they all teamed up to fight the Viet Cong. I don't know what happened to them after the war ended. Probably not good stuff, because it's they were communists, but the South Vietnam government, but there's so much like cases of this shit like in Southeast Asia and just Asia in general, and something I noticed, if you convince yourself that you have God on your side, that makes you convinced that you can do anything you want.
Right.
So like when you have Sharia law and there's a big punk rock scene, they're gonna go like Order 66 on your ass, that's for sure. And you gotta admire these like punks in Indonesia for rebelling, especially with like what's happened to like their friends for rebelling, dude. Yeah, this turned it into a history lesson for you guys.
It's good though. No, I do like that shit matters. At the end of the day, like we need it. Like Americans need to know more world history.
Oh yeah,
as it correlates. Because at the end of the day, like if a person's persecuted regardless of creed, color, and religion, like dude, like it's gonna happen everywhere. So I think discrimination isn't just an American or a Western civilization thing. It's a world thing. So
yeah,
we have to know shit. So
I probably should have done this earlier, so it wouldn't have gone on a tangent. But the punks in Indonesia are Muslim.
Wow.
They just don't follow Sharia law.
Right.
And according to Sharia law, punk rock has become an unofficial law. Here's what the article says. Quote, they are out of sync with Islam, end quote, says the deputy mayor of Banda Aceh, the provincial capital. As a local election nears, she has become the face of authorities' war on punk rock, and she boasts overseeing police raids in her stump speeches.
Interesting.
Out of sync with Islam? Okay, the Buddha is out of sync with Islam. Are we gonna bomb Buddhist temples too? I'm sure there's a lot of Buddhist people in Indonesia. Actually, let's look it up. Yeah. Indonesia.
Their population's crazy because they have a lot of different walks of life over there.
Okay, it's 87% Islam, 10% Christian, 1% Hindu, and 0.7% Buddhist. Okay, I was wrong. There's not a lot of
no, there's not
Buddhists.
But but if you do the math on it, like how much is the population of Indonesia?
Population of Indonesia is 282 million.
Holy fuck!
So there's still like a lot of Buddhists there. So are we gonna?
Oh, it's still a lot, but it's all 87% of that. Fucking damn.
Yeah, 2 million Buddhists in the country.
Out of that would be 2.8 million, right?
Yeah, 2.8. Yeah,
Christians. Damn.
Christians, 10%.
Yeah, so 10% of 282 would be 2.82.
Yeah.
Damn.
And
damn, that's fucking wild.
Yeah, it is wild. So out of sync with
I did not think Indonesia was that fucking big. With the sixth most populated, I said.
Yeah.
Damn.
And who's to say that like? Actually, no, I'm not going to go there because I'm not educated enough to go there. I was going to talk about like Islam taking over Indonesia and getting rid of like their like
the indigenous people that live there, or just
Eastern religions like Confucianism and Taoism and Buddhism. But I'm not going to go there. I'm not going to go there. I'm not prepared to go there.
But because at the end of the day, like I think with them, it's not an isolated place, but it's so fucking it's big at the same point, but it's kind of isolated because it is like just a huge fucking island, but then a bunch of islands around it. I don't know, man. I do like that part of the world. Fucking is crazy to me because you have Indonesia, Australia's not that close, but like, and then you have New Zealand, Papua New Guinea, like that whole fucking area, like in the is what ocean would that be?
It would be the Pacific Ocean.
Pacific? Okay. Because the Southern Ocean is close to Antarctica, so it would have been.
Yeah.
But then you got the Indian Ocean right there, though. So
Yeah, the Indian Ocean is on like to like the west of them, and Pacific Ocean is to the east of them.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, and the thing about oppressing groups like that, you're just gonna push them underground. Like I'm reading it right now. Scooby, a 21-year-old punk recently returned from boot camp, has his theories. For now, he and his Pierce brethren are opting for discretion over defiance. They would only meet with global post around midnight behind closed doors over black coffee and Marlboros.
Nice. Black coffee, Marlboros.
Yeah.
Fucking amazing.
Yeah, if you're gonna go DEFCON 3 on punks when there are probably let's be honest, there's probably like drug and human trafficking going on in Indonesia.
Definitely.
You're gonna have a lot of problems, dude. Like seriously. Like here's the Wikipedia page of Indonesia. Following 3.5 centuries of Dutch colonialism, Indonesia secured its independence after World War II and has since faced challenges such as separatism, corruption, and natural disasters, alongside democratization and rapid economic growth. I mean, sure, their economy is like good, but you can't be a punk in that country, dude. That's like, screw you guys. Like, I feel, these guys are true punks, and stick it to them. I'll leave a link to their shit in the description. All right, we're gonna take a break now. When we come back, we're gonna talk about when the system infiltrates the counterculture. Yes, sir.
I like that.
We have returned. All right, so something I noticed about the subcultures, getting oppressed by government. There's cases like Indonesia, like sending them to jail, like in Indonesia, framing them like the West Memphis Three, or just labeling them as a gang like the FBI did. But what about when the system infiltrates the subculture? So, for those of you who don't know, skinheads were not originally racist.
Really?
Yeah, so they were formed in the late 60s in England, and basically it was kind of a reaction.
Is it a counterculture to the Beatles?
Counterculture to the Beatles. Basically,
they said, "Fuck those motherfuckers! I got some Ramones, bitch."
Basically, a bunch of working class guys who hated hippies and wanted to be part of their working class roots. Formed this thing called the skinheads, and guess what? The skinheads came from Jamaica. It was influenced by Jamaican ska and reggae.
Oh shit!
Yeah, and they would listen to all ska and reggae and all that.
Ska and reggae is fucking dope. It just calms down. Like when I listen to some reggae.
Yeah. And
it's good music. And you gotta listen to it when you near palm trees.
And near palm trees, because
fuck, dude.
Got nothing better for that shit. So
I can't listen to reggae in the fucking winter, dude. Fuck.
Oh yeah, no. In the in the 70s, there was this big wave of like far right politics in the UK. And so they were recruiting these national like guys, because like working class guys tend to be the guys who are drawn to that sort of thing. Like all classes are drawn to that sort of thing, but working class guys in particular, because a lot of them don't like have access to education. So a bunch of anti-immigrant groups, the National Front and the British Movement, those were the guys that were recruiting the skinheads. So that's why you had guys who were originally not racist, like Screwdriver and all those guys. They were having so there was this thing called Rock Against Racism. So basically a bunch of famous musicians came together to protest racism. Like David Bowie,
UK artist, or
UK artists on Rock Against Racism.
Probably Freddie. Like if you're thinking UK.
It was like in a response to the National Front. The movement was in part founded. Okay, hold on. Let me see the lineup. I don't. Although it doesn't say the names of the band that were involved in it, my group, but I did find a picture of it right here.
Oh shit.
Yeah, well,
78. So there was a couple big bands, and because you had to, friends.
Yeah, Gang of Four, the Mekongs, and Delta 5 were names of the band. It was more, I guess it was more like an underground movement.
Oh, that's good then.
Yeah, so, well, these dipshits decided to form their own thing to counter them. You know what it was called?
What?
Rock Against Communism.
Oh shit!
And you would think it would be protest music against communism, right? Well, no, they apparently being anti-racist is the same thing with being communist. When a lot of people in East Asia, South Asia, the Middle East, Sub-Saharan Africa, even in South America, people who are not white are against communism.
Mm-hmm.
Even white people are against communism. I even read this when I was reading this book about like mercenaries in the Congo War. This guy who was from Poland. He was an anti-communist activist.
He was right to be fucking anti-communist.
Yeah, no. He said he was asked, "How does it feel to kill a person?" You know what he said? "I don't know. I've only killed communists."
Damn,
Yeah.
that's badass.
So, and that's how they get at you, because they get people to think like, that this type of thing is communism. They say stupid shit like, "Oh, race mixing is communism," and like the term "rock against communism" is now the catch-all term for all like racist rock music.
Oh shit!
And there's a subsect of punk rock, because skinheads and punks back in the day were very closely aligned, called Oi. And instead of being like artsy kids, it was more like, working class kids, making Oi. It was like street punk. And back in the day, there was this compilation called Strength Through Oi. And it was basically a compilation of, rock bands. This is the
Oh shit!
Cover of it. And I don't know how they fucked this up, but the guy on the cover is named Nicky Crane. He was one of the most prolific neo-Nazi activists.
Of course they do that.
I don't know why they. I don't know why the fuck they say this.
Yeah.
But check it out. The guys that spread to the United States, the skinheads that spread to the United States, were Nazi skinheads. So you had they popped up in Dallas, Texas. They popped up in Chicago. They popped up in New Jersey. They popped up in basically all areas of the country. Our friend, he grew up in the 90s. He said that all towns had at least a few skinheads in them. And that's why you had the media calling all skinheads like racists, because it became synonymous with racists.
What is white racists? Yeah, like he has a bald head, he has this, he has that, and right. It just looks. It's an easy target.
Yeah, easy target, exactly. Because it looks kind of macho. Young men kind of like it, and it reached a point where in the 80s, they were going to like shows and infiltrating them. Like I have an article right here. I can't see the full thing because I don't have access to it, but it's by GQ.com. Basically, it says every hardcore band you loved in the 80s and beyond, from Black Flag to Minutemen to Fugazi, had one unfortunate thing in common. Nazi skinheads occasionally stormed their concerts, stomped their fans, gave hitless salutes in lieu of applauding, and generally turned a communal experience into one full of hatred and conflict. Punk rockers have flirted with fascist imagery for shock value, with the Sex Pistols, Sid Vicious, and Susie Sue wearing swastikas in public. But as early San Francisco scenester Howie Klein, later president of Reprise Records, recalls, suddenly you have people who were part of the scene who didn't understand fascist bad.
Interesting.
So, like, and the reason why, like, all these subcultures, like punks, juggalos, metalheads, are no tolerance towards neo-Nazis is because they have to be, because they don't want to wind up like the skinheads.
Right. They don't want to be lumped in.
Yeah, don't want to be lumped in with these fucks. And most of them were just kids going through phases. But where does this all have the root to it? The National Front. The National Front, what they do, if that's why I don't fuck with the modern day punk movement, because how do I know that these guys aren't bought out? Like, for example, Billy Joe Armstrong, big supporter of the Democratic Party.
Oh yeah, Green Day. Yeah.
If you are truly punk, you wouldn't be a supporter of any party, dude.
Yeah.
So, Billy Joe, I love you. You're one of my favorite like singers of all time. I saw you live in 2017, but when I was 14. But like, dude, you gotta admit, you gotta draw a line, like you gotta realize who's on your side and who is not.
Yeah.
Because like, listen, every town has like a guy who would be drawn into that. Like, did you know any skinheads back in Iowa?
Probably not. No,
No?
it was just like a look, but I'm not gonna, like I think it's, I don't think, like you said, like just because they might look a certain way, I don't fucking tend to judge people. Like I think it's more about your actions rather than the way you look more than anything. So, like I don't know anybody, but
Did you know any racist kids?
fuck yeah, of course I did. Ooh, like just because, like, but at the end of the day, it was just because like they didn't fucking know any better. They just been around fucking white farm fucking kids around their whole life, so it's like, I don't know, man. Like that's what happens when you just stay in a small town. You don't like expand your fucking knowledge, and I think that's where it's like it's tough.
Yeah.
So, like I don't fucking blame them, but like at the end of the day, like if you don't want to fucking leave your small town or you don't want to do this, like that's your fault.
There's always that one guy in a small town who wears his high school jacket around town, goes to all the games, and said, "Nah, man, this is my kingdom, man."
Huh?
And it's just like, and nobody really thinks about them. They have no self-awareness whatsoever. Like the teachers don't want them there. They're like hanging around with like kids like 16 years old when they're like almost 30.
Yeah, that's too much.
Yeah, I hate that.
Yeah.
Shit, I feel bad for the guys like that. I mean, do you think it's like their own fault if they peak in high school, or
What?
like if
Who? Just anybody in general?
anybody in general?
It's tough, like I think high school correlates to a lot of life, but like you can't make it. I don't know. It's interesting. I do hate the guy that's like 45 telling me, but like if he's 25 and just hasn't done shit, like it is what it is. You know what I mean? Like he's just remembering the good old days, but you just reach a certain point. You're like, what the fuck? Like if you're 50 thinking about high school, that's where it's like, I don't know. Like we're in an interesting time, so like I think you could do whatever the fuck you want. So, but
Oh yeah. Listen or not, they're probably the type of guy that would get involved in like fucking Nazi skinheads because like peaked in high school. So like, I read an autobiography on guys who were in the Nazi skinhead movement, and they said when they would get out of jail, people were hanging out with them not because they were a skinhead, but despite them being a skinhead, not a Nazi skinhead, and like the vast majority of those kids were just kids going through phases. So like when that guy went to jail and came out and nobody was a skinhead anymore.
oh wow,
Yeah. And
you're like, where the fuck are these people?
and no one came to visit him in prison. Yeah, it was like you start to realize who those friends really are. If you base your community on hate, you're not going to get any love.
Yeah, no, you can't.
Yeah, because like
I think that's a big issue.
the guy I'm talking about, his name is Frank Mink. He's one of the guys that inspired the movie American History X. He says he didn't inspire it, but I just kind of say it for simplicity's sake. But what was I gonna say? Oh shit, I forgot my fucking point. But yeah, he came out. So basically one of their friends, his friends got like killed, and he was like a Nazi punk singer. And he was the only guy at his funeral that wasn't Sig Heiling. So all the other Nazis, they beat him up
Oh shit.
because of that, and they completely like disowned him. And he was glad that it happened because that means he will never be accepted back into that world.
Oh.
And so yeah, there was no real love in that community, and the same thing with punk. If you're gonna co-opt music and make these really shitty music about themselves, so basically, what Nazi skinheads would do is they would what these groups would do is they would get in touch with like record labels, and they would make white power music. Most of it was bootlegged. Almost all of it is like very shittily recorded. It's just generic rock music with a guy who can't sing about how much he hates Jews.
Jesus.
And it would be distributed through guys like Rockorama Records, Resistance Records, Panzerfaust Records, all these like cruddy groups. And they would record shitty music. And I listened to Screwdriver, dude. It is garbage. Honestly, so that's how they're co-opting, guys like that with, the punk movement. That's how you have like guys like Dead Kennedys making songs like Nazi punks, fuck off.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. And like, it's not just punk music too, but country music. Back during the civil rights movements, they had guys like Johnny Revel making pro-segregationist songs. I have heard some of those songs. It is wild.
I can imagine.
Yeah, and there's always going to be like a mentality for that, and they're going to tap into that mentality, and like, it's just really, really it's just really shitty music. Want to play some?
Sure, fuck it.
All right, let's see. So,
do you need
let's play some fucking. Hopefully I don't get demonetized because of this, but
you'll get fucking demonetized. But
yeah, screw it. We're not monetized to begin with. All right, this is a Screwdriver song.
Some was a child. Sorry, now I'm a Drake. You're all now. You're all so blake. When I see a Briola. Oh.
Okay, maybe that's not that bad, but like a lot of these bands like Brutal Attack or whatever. Okay, a lot of you guys are probably gonna get mad at me for saying their names, but if someone really wants to listen to that garbage, they're gonna find it out. This is a really bad one. Let's play some. This sounds like it was recorded on a toaster.
I couldn't tell you, but
Like, first of all, the guy can't fucking sing.
okay.
Second of all, like the guy, it seems like it was. It sounds like it was like. I know punk is supposed to have like shitty recording. It's punk. That's what they do. It's like the do-it-yourself type of thing. But like, oh my god, it just sounds. They all sound the same, and you can tell that they're not musicians. They're activists that can play
Musicians. I mean, it was play instruments. Yeah.
But yeah, so the thing about that guy I mentioned earlier, Nicky Crane, he was a hardcore skinhead, basically one of the most prolific like far right guys in Britain.
Oh wow.
And guess what they found out about him? He led a double life as a homosexual.
That's fucking funny. A double life. Oh fuck. Yeah, there we go.
And it's really. And basically, he was like disowned by the rest of the guys in that network because of him. What he was like a homosexual, and he later died of AIDS in 1993.
Oh wow!
And this guy and basically the guy who started this whole like Nazi punk garbage, his name was Ian Stewart. So he was the front man of the band Screwdriver. It was the first thing I played for you. He was like, I hate Jews, I hate blacks, la, 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 stupid garbage like that. and like he was originally a non-racist skinhead, but he like raised money through white power concerts with his Blood and Honor network. That's again, that's how they do their music. They're not making music to make music. They're making it to raise money. And say what you will about far left music, they're good at making music. Like Rage Against the Machine is good at making music.
I wouldn't consider them far left though.
Okay, well they're left wing, but how many right wing guys are good at making music?
Ted Nugent.
Oh yeah, good point. And but basically, Ian Stewart,
Got a stranglehold.
he had a band called the Klansmen.
All right, you gotta listen to more Ted Nugent. That's gotta go piss.
Yeah. All right, Alex is gonna go piss, guys. As a matter of fact, I got nothing to talk about without him, but so I'm just gonna pause it real quick. All right, we're back from pissing, but anyway, but like basically, all these white power groups, dude, hate each other behind the scenes. It's like, remember that guy Daryl Davis?
Oh, that's the guy that infiltrated.
Yeah, he
Yeah.
convinced guys to leave the KKK by becoming friends with them.
Yeah.
And he said that behind the scenes they all don't get along because someone didn't get promoted, someone was embezzling money, ideological differences, and it's basically a huge clusterfuck of shitheads. And so a lot of people are like, I know a lot of people are concerned about like crazy guys, like with like terror attacks, like Tim McVeigh terror attacks. He wasn't like white supremacist, but he was very
Well, Waco caused that because at the end of the day, he didn't agree with how they did Waco. So
yeah, I didn't agree with the way we did Waco with it, but I didn't,
you're not gonna blow a fucking building.
Oh, exactly.
But
And so whenever something like that happens, it's because like, well, if you're not going to do anything about it, and you're not going to do anything about it, then I'll do something about it.
right.
Stuff like that. And I believe him because like these fucking Nazi groups don't have this shit together. Say what you will about communists, they fucking think shit through.
Yeah.
Like I was discussing this with my dad sometimes, like. Because, like, we were watching, like, documentaries on that. Like, David Duke doesn't think anything through. Richard Spencer doesn't think anything through. Ian Stewart definitely didn't think anything through. These skinheads, like, how are you going to be a skinhead when the skinheads were founded by black guys? Like a Nazi when skinheads are founded by black guys. That don't make sense. And, yeah, and it's really sad because like I've met like actual skinheads, like not like the sharp skinheads, at like concerts and stuff. They are just cool people, and like, so basically, in the 80s, they formed this thing called the Skinheads Against Racial Prejudice, and they decided to and they were basically fighting back against the Nazi skins. They were like teaming up with punks to fight back against Nazi skinheads, and they are like badass because like I know what it's like to have the label of being a gang member. I can only imagine what it's like to having the label of being a racist. And so this is an article from the Southern Poverty Law Center. According to the Southern Poverty Law Center, the skinheads in the 2010s have sort of died out and they have almost no new young recruits, so it's sort of like a Gen X thing.
Okay.
And I would always make this joke about like why would you be in the alt-right when you could be a skinhead? Because like alt-righters is racist kids, skinheads are big scary racist kids. Because like,
Oh man.
who do you think is gonna leave more of an impression? The fat guy who sits on the internet all day, on 4chan all day, or the guy with muscles, a shaved head, tattoos, who works out a lot and beats people up at punk rock shows.
Yeah. True.
Yeah, and I think they kind of had a comeback with that because I heard there's this thing called the Rise Above movement, where it's basically a far right like MMA group.
Oh really?
Yeah, that sounds kind of fun.
Sounds fucking scary, dude.
Yeah, I mean, I go to an MMA gym, so I wouldn't mind going to a MMA shop. I just can't tell them I'm half white. Yeah, they'll probably spot them from a mile away because they listen. I doubt they're smart enough to research eugenics and what actually goes into what people who are not white looks like. I feel like according to them, if I look white, I am white. I don't fucking know, but like it's just it's stupid anyway. Because like I don't even see them as like a huge threat. They're too stupid to be a threat. I was watching what I watched kind of. It's just how it kind of went about the West Memphis Three guys. I watched this documentary on like skinheads called Skinheads USA. Frank Mink was in it, and bro, I swear to God, there were more people in that documentary than all of the IQ of those guys put together. Those guys are retarded.
Oh man, that's funny.
Like they're watching like video of Hitler from back in the day. He's like, wow, look at that guy. He was so brave. Man, I feel so tingly watching this. And they're listening to I forget what it's called. It's like a Irish World War I song. I can't remember. It's Ballad of Guns N' Roses. I don't know what it's called. Like,
oh shit.
Like I don't know. So something like 1916. I forget the words. But they were so like moved by it that they started sig-heiling to it. If I showed you it, you would burst out laughing.
I probably would, but fuck, man.
Like it is. Like, these guys like. Of course, it's going to be lone wolf terrorist attacks with these guys. They're not smart enough to organize themselves.
Yeah, that's crazy, dude.
Yeah,
that's too much.
like I don't even. Like, oh my God. And like the guy who's like the leader of them, his name was like Bill Riccio. He has this compound in like Alabama, and you know what he does as his day job? Sells tires. And he's like retarded. And I've even heard allegations that the reason why you know what I heard was the reason why he founded that group to have sex with boys.
What the fuck? So a lot of them are just in closet homosexuals.
Yeah, I feel like most of them are in closet homosexuals. They're like the Nicky Cranes of those guys, you know?
Fuck. Oh, that's funny.
Yeah, that's funny. But yeah, like
He's acting out all macho and all fucking racist and all this shit just to fucking suck a dick.
Yeah,
Jesus
I know.
Christ.
And the thing about they're fighting against they say they're fighting against the system. The ITF is gonna kill us. The federal government is run by Jews and they wanna kill us through miscegenation.
They're right on that one.
I mean, yeah, they're right on that one. I'm not gonna lie, but like I know all about APAC, you know, and all that, you know, the guys. But like, dude, is this really the way you have to go about it, man? It's like the thing about the system. This goes back to my first point. The racist skinheads have their origin in the political parties infiltrating them.
Right.
That's why whenever a subculture is very close with a political party, whether it be the Democratic Party or the Republican Party, do not trust them.
Right.
Like seriously, because like you can't trust them. You know why people don't? You know why juggalos aren't scared to tell the truth? Nobody believes them. Like the reason why I'm talking like this right now, because I know nobody's gonna believe me.
Yeah.
Because if you see me in public, I act retarded. I act kind of ass-beatly me. Like people are not gonna like people believe me. People don't take me seriously. That's why I'm not scared to tell the truth. People don't take me too seriously. So you can believe whatever you want, but like do the research for yourself. It's really stupid. Like, and there's another thing. Like with subcultures, you can tell how these guys are stupid. You know what Nazi skinheads love to death? Slayer.
I love Slayer's fucking badass.
Slayer is badass, and our Uncle Mo. He tells us that the reason why Nazi skinheads love Slayer so much is because it sounds evil. But like the lead singer of Slayer, Tom Arai, he's from Chile.
Wow.
You're seeing
Probably can't even tell you on the map of South America where it's at. Then.
Yes, exactly. These guys can't even tell you what Chile. Can't even point it out on a map. They probably don't even know
the mountains are there.
the mountains there.
Fucking Andes, dude.
I mean, they probably have like cousins down in Argentina who are like German. But
yeah, God forbid. Yeah.
But at least those guys are actually in touch with their heritage, you know. And like as a matter of fact, I think correct me if I'm wrong, but I think Kerry King is actually Jewish. Kerry King is a guitarist for Slayer.
I'd have to Google that. I'm not.
All right, let's
really-
Google it. Kerry King. Okay, but I was wrong. He's not Jewish, but
He looks Jewish.
I mean, if you consider this looking Jewish, yeah.
Oh fuck. No, it's like the guys you're talking about.
Yeah, he looks like he looks like the guys we're talking about, but that's probably
Look at that
like him.
weird though.
Yeah, it is a badass beer.
Mm.
Yeah, yeah, it's fun.
Oh shit.
Yeah, but yeah, he's kind of like a very like apparently he's like a very like arrogant dude.
Yeah. I can see that. But
Yeah. It's kind of funny. He's like this like a, hardcore like redneck dude or whatever. And he's like he has kind of the type of attitude. He's like, you're just mad that I'm doing something on your life you were never able to achieve. So yeah, you're gay. And he plays like the most easiest like guitar whip ever. You ever seen that video where like the Xbox Live message where the guy's like playing Enter the Sandman? He's like, you're just mad that you can't play the guitar, so you're gay.
Enter Sandman, yeah. Enter the Sandman.
Yeah.
Enter the Sandman. Oh, you fucking a sandcastle, dude. You gotta enter the Sandman. Jesus Christ.
And like from what I understand, I don't play the guitar, but I heard that's like a very easy riff to play.
Oh, Enter Sandman.
Yeah.
Yeah. Which riff? The
Opening.
No, not that one. Okay.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, that one. Okay.
But yeah, so from what I understand, like these Nazi skinheads that like idolize like a Chilean guy, like whenever there's like a concert, it's in like either someone's backyard or someone's basement. Because if they have it at like a regular club, they're gonna get their asses whooped. Like regular pumps are gonna, it's an easy target. It's like the hogs running into like the still trap with like food in it. So like. And like they have this like bullshit festival that don't even pull like 500 people a year in like Ukraine.
Oh wow.
And they play like National Socialist black metal.
Oh shit.
And like cruddy bands
They
like
wipe them $1 billion. Or?
get them $1 billion. National Socialist black metal. I mean,
fucking not.
when it comes to black metal, like that's kind of expected. Like, of course, there's going to be Nazis in it. It's black metal. The pioneers of that scene are in jail for killing each other. They are very, very, very strange people in black metal. So it's like it's sort of to be expected. But like, dude, and yeah, it's like. Yeah, these people, I got nothing else to say. Feel like I'm just gonna keep repeating myself. Yeah, okay, here's what it's called. This Asgard Siri Festival was established in Moscow, then relocated to Kiev.
Oh, in Ukraine.
Yeah. Cool. Yeah, it's and those are the only like bullshit like festivals that'll book like fuckers like that, man. Oh my god. So stupid. All right, I got nothing else to say for now. I said all that's need to be said. I really got nothing else to say other than don't trust the government because they're the guys who kind of instigate crap like that.
True.
But join us like next time when we talk about
our bands.
Our bands.
Yeah, we talking about music. We're gonna do like our top 5 favorite bands. We're gonna do favorite bands, overrated bands. We could talk about underrated bands. We're gonna be strictly like sticking within like rock, let's say.
Yeah.
So we'll we'll name our like top 5 most overrated, our favorites. What we grew up on. So take a listen next episode. It'll be a little more mixture of Alex and Domo over here. Like it's all be Domo.
Yeah, he's gonna contribute some stuff too. I came up with this like last night, and I was like, today's a great idea.
Yeah,
but it probably came out well for what it was.
And he could talk. So that's.
Oh yeah, I can talk.
I'll see you next week. Well, not next week. I'm gonna be at my baby shower for my nephew coming. So in 2 weeks we'll be back. So.
When we're back. All right. See you guys. Bye-bye.
Bye.